Is it possible to get your ex back using the law of attraction? Does this law actually work, and can it be used to get your ex-partner back? First, let's focus on what the law of attraction actually is, which was popularized in books like The Secret or The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Maybe you've had a situation where you were thinking about a friend, and just then, that person called you. It couldn't have been just a coincidence, right? You attracted that person with your thoughts. At least, that's how it looks. Meanwhile, let's take a look at how it really works. Let's break it down with a simple diagram. The most common situation is when you're not thinking about your friend and your friend isn't calling you. When talking about your friend, there are surely situations where they call you, but you're not thinking about them. There's also the situation where you're thinking about your friend, but they aren't calling you at that moment. However, especially if you've known each other a long time, it's only a matter of time before these two situations overlap. You'll be thinking about your friend, and your friend will finally call you at that exact same moment. And now the question is this proof that you attracted that person with your thoughts at that moment? Well, no. That's the very definition of pure coincidence. It was bound to happen sooner or later. It would be almost inevitable. It would be very strange if such situations didn't happen at all. However, our brains hate unpredictability, so they love to look for meaning even where there really isn't any. And that's exactly why there are so many people in the world who don't believe in coincidences. The truth, however, is that this need to find meaning everywhere, even where it's not, is a common cognitive bias to be aware of. An even greater illusion that makes people believe in the law of attraction is the illusion called the law of large numbers. Let's see how it works with an example. Now, let's imagine a very unusual situation. Just today, while you were eating lunch, you thought of someone you normally don't think about at all. A person you met maybe 15 or 20 years ago during a single trip. You never had contact with them again, and today they just popped into your head. And now, get this. That very same day, that person calls you. Is that also a coincidence? Isn't that proof that the law of attraction worked? Well, that's exactly a perfect example of the law of large numbers. Is such an event likely? Well, no. Quite the opposite. It's very, very unlikely. But if you consider there are 8 billion people on our planet and multiply that tiny probability by 8 billion, it turns out that every single day, many people experience these highly unlikely situations. It's just pure mathematics. It would actually be strange if such highly unlikely events never happened to anyone. However, if something like that happens to you, our brains, as machines for seeking and assigning meaning, start to see that meaning even where it doesn't exist. And that's why people are so inclined to believe that the law of attraction actually works. And if someone happened to experience a situation like that and tells a loved one about it, or writes it down, describes such a story in a book, well, then we have anecdotal evidence that this law really works. Everything I've told you isn't just something I made up. There's a whole branch of science dedicated to explaining these kinds of strange or highly improbable phenomena. And the conclusion is simple. Our thoughts don't attract anything at all. If you'd like to dive deeper into this topic, I recommend the great book Quarkology by Richard Wiseman. Now, let me put this very clearly and completely straight. The law of attraction doesn't work, and not only will it not help you get your ex back, it will actually hurt you. Because getting an ex back is a process that requires a lot of work, a lot of effort, to not only start working on yourself, but to gain the most important relationship skills, learn the strategy, and all the traps waiting for you along the way to get that person back. Because getting an ex back is a process you have to put a lot of energy into. You need to start working on yourself, understand the real reasons for the breakup, gain key relationship skills, and learn the whole strategy. It requires action. Just thinking about how nice it would be to get back with your ex and imagining how wonderful it'll be when you're together again won't bring you even a millimeter closer to that person. Now, if you're someone who, just like I used to, believed in the law of attraction until now, well, that's okay. It really doesn't insult anyone's intelligence, not yours or anyone else's who believed in something like that or still does. It's hard to have the right beliefs about everything from the very beginning. It's completely normal that when we're born, other people and our environment put ideas into our heads that aren't ours, which we just accepted as fact because we simply encountered them and hadn't questioned them before. Becoming wise and mature is about taking the beliefs that we've held until now and questioning everything mercilessly. because that's the only way we get closer to the truth. I also once read the book The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and I was also captivated by that book. Like many people I know, actually, but I grew out of it once I learned how this law of attraction works, how the stories in there were created, and how the cognitive bias of finding meaning worked. And not just that cognitive bias either. And now I know that this law practically doesn't work at all, and the book itself has nothing to do with science and practice and is based solely on anecdotal evidence, meaning telling stories that are supposed to prove something. However, you can prove absolutely anything with a story, even two completely contradictory things. But if you need help actually getting your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend back, I invite you right now to book a completely free call where we'll help you assess your situation. Do you even still have a chance to get that person back? And if you do, we'll invite you to join our program, where we'll guide you step by step through the whole process, teach you all the key skills, and you'll learn the exact strategy. And of course, along the way, you'll be guided by an expert psychologist you'll have them on call, you'll be able to consult regularly and ask exactly what to do in this or that situation after your ex did this or that. This is the best possible way to maximize your chances. So go to institutezvyazkov.pl now to see more details and book your first free consultation. That's all for now. Thanks and see you soon. Robert Marshall, institutezvyazkov.pl.